Hi guys, I'm here joined by my friend John.
Hello.
And of course I'm Ash Slasher. My real name's Ashley, but it's not actually. And today we're going to be reading some really bad, questionable fan fiction. And to start off with, we've got one about my little boner, my little bony.
The title of this bad fan fiction is called PPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPPP
important, John.
So, it's split up into 6 chapters, I believe.
Yeah, it's like 6 chapters. So, yeah, if you want to take it off.
Chapter 1, the thing that started it all. No pony could remember a time when it had rained so hard. Twilight Sparkle said.
This isn't water, it's acid. All the background ponies were then
disintegrated from the acid Trixie tears.
I must find out where this is coming from,
Spike said as he punched Pinkie Pie into the sun. Derpy Hooves yelled.
No, she was my cousin. This has no pardon.
And turned into Derpzilla, who derped up the moon, which was now made of lasers and 4chan, but it still counts as a moon, and threw it at Fluttershy, who turned into a shark from the impact.
How does Rainbow Dash taste, Twilight?
Spark said, whipping around his tail saw made of holy freak fire.
Like some kid with wings.
Twilight spit out 2 wings as she lifted up. Twilight spit out 2 wings as she lifted up Fluttershy and fired her at Applejack's new truck, the resulting ice fire engulfing half of the multiverse in a rainbow cupcake. Spike used his male breath to send the cupcake verse to Lauren Faust, who rejected it and made a crossover of some sort. Needless to say, it was amazing.
That's what it does.
Sorry, give me a minute. Derpzilla smashed the corpse of the other multiverse half into the cupcake, smashing the multiverses together, leading to the ponies being smothered by obsessed bronies.
Twilight, you must rip the freak out,
said Princess Celestia, summoning Zamboni. Applejack drove Zamboni over Canada, sinking it, which revealed Fluttershy to be the second coming of Jesus Satan, a creature worshipped by snowboard assassins and muffins.
What is going on?
Stephen Magnate fixed the multiverse with a twist of his amazing moustache, with the one exception being that there were hipstomatic cameras raining over both multiverse universes, which summoned a demonic iPod. That enslaved the ponies until Hasbro took hold of the entire story.
Wanna come over for a tea party, Rainbow?
Said Pinkie.
Of course, my great friend.
Then everything exploded.
Shall I, Trixie's turnabout. Trixie flew, somehow, across Equestria, as she looked down upon the detestable little ponies in the city. How unbecomingly of them, just walking around like they were actually true masters.
I am not going to tolerate that! Objection!
But they did not believe her. Furious, she set her own hair on fire and shot everyone using a pistol made of pie as were-ponies cried, which summoned Fluttershy.
Flutter, why are you eating us?
Asked Derpy, just as her bowels began to shine, allowing her to transform into Derpzilla. Spike's arm began to melt, and suddenly his legs were made of root beer. Joining the fight, the three conquered all of the multiverse. Rainbow vomited poop ladybugs as she ripped the world in half so that it would be easier to kill. They want to kill the... What? Suddenly she realised she was raping the universe.
Not again!
She shouted as Trixie fought her to the death.
I won't lose! Why not? Because I promised. What did you promise? To be a pony!
Trixie withdrew her hat from another dimension and reminded herself to kill herself later, as she summoned a meteor to kill all of Equestria, leaving only her, Rainbow, and the snowboard assassins from Mercury, who now rule the universe. Pinkie Pie woke up and destroyed all of Dallas, as the sun can do anything she freaking wants.
Sad.
That is until she gets eaten by Fluttershark. Flutterfireshark started spitting acid fireballs made out of lightsabers and Steve and Magnate mustache fragments out the world, restoring it. Trixie said,
I need to boost the word count of this fic.
While eating a television, Flutterfireshark, who was now a Pegashark made of fire, froze over Muffin Hell while derping. Then everybody died.
Chapter 3. A filler chapter. Flutterfireshark was eating the head of a gothic pony named Ebony Raven when she was attacked by... was quickly set on fire, revealing him to be Turtle Boo Jack Colt, who then proceeded to tack Ponyville.
Do you know what's going on here?
No. Dubzilla was quickly defeated by his mastery of fired chicken. And with Pinky still being the son, there was only one pony that could fight him, Dr. Hooves.
Oh my god.
Hooves cupcaked Turtle upside the head while destroying
in one fell
destroying
derp.
Africa in one fell derp. Video game cartridges rained down, impeding the blood of the universe, causing a rip in the time and hammer pants. Applejack, who just finished selling her 10,000 millionth pancake, severely fanficked, or 10 billion, severely fanficked everyone in Celestia, shipping every pony with every pony else, except for Trixie, who was only shipped with a tree. Said tree was shipped with everybody else too, even Derpy Hooves, the amalgamation of Derpy and the Doctor that exists in another dimension where hamsters rule. The reason Applejack knows about the hamster dimension would make for a much more interesting fanfic than this one, which just made Rarity explode. BOOM! For no reason. Noticing this fic has no dialogue yet, Spike screamed,
This is Philadelphia!
And used his soda legs to poison the princesses in a fit of rage, making him the ruler of Equestria. Then everyone spontaneously combusted.
Chapter 4. I should have tried to make the other 3 chapters as long as this one.
Now, Spike!
Spike knelt before his mistress. Twilight withdrew her horn, Freak Slayer, from a dimension where all screamed for naught. Twilight swung her horn at Flutterfireshark in an attempt to save Pinkie Pie. This moderately worked. Flutterfireshark now has the power of ice, making her Flutter Icefireshark. Pinkie emerged unscathed from the new abomination and ordered Twilight a cupcake. Twilight took the cupcake.
This cupcake tastes!
Was all she managed to get out before the drugs kicked in. Twilight woke up chained to a wall with chains too strong to be removed with a magic. Pinkie, in her Psycho Pie outfit, started slowly walking towards her. The TARDIS popped up in between the two and opened to reveal John Madden, dressed up as Michael Bolton, dressed up as Tony Montana, who then fucking cockroaches, who gunned down Pinkie while singing something about pirates as he turned into Cthulhu, who then fought Dr. Hooves, Derpzilla, Turtleboo Jack Colt, Trixie, Soda Leg Spike, and Flutter Ice Fireshark for the retardis. Twilight felt a strong magic free her from her chains. It was Celestia, entombed in her cursed deodorant armour, helping Twilight from her sunbase which wasn't on the sun. Twilight channeled her rage through Freak Slayer. The angel blood boiled as she summoned the great Flutter Ice Fireshark. Swathed with the cutie marks of the tiny freaklings from Ponyville, leapt onto it and flew into space. She encased the creature in a wreath of holy freak fire, making every flank in the galaxy explode, and inside every flank a bunny danced the Macarena. Twilight then flew Flutter Ice Freak Fireshark through space, punching astral griffins in thirds with her tail and throwing their golden claws into the retardis, turning Psycho Pie into a zombie, and then proceeded to terrorise the cafeteria of Justice Flavoured Socks. Scootaloo then went to sleep, but her dreams were infected by para crabs, which has the effect of making the dreams a full-on acid trip. Let's take a journey into the dreamscape now. Pinkie Pie ate a cupcake and burnt bagpipes, and suddenly Apple Bloom came out of the bagpipes, ate Pinkie Pie and turned into a radiator. The radiator exploded into
It's over 9,000! What 9,000?
coat hangers, which then fell down on Equestria. Flutter Ice Freak Fire Shark ate a turtwig, gave her the power of solar beam. Applejack looked around her. There was nothing to see.
You have your eyes closed again!
Twilight warned.
Oh!
Applejack exclaimed, opening her eyes just in time to see Spike swallow the sun whole, revealing a second moon that was hiding behind it. Spike started choking. No one helped. A pirate pony appeared, yawned, and disappeared, or disapered, making her appearance rather pointless. Yodeled at no one in particular from a falling star. Spike paused from his choking to sneeze. He was choking, but carried on again afterward. No one helped. Flutter, Ice Freak, Fire, Star, Solar Beam Shark stared across the frozen tundra, watching a giant frozen banana with a mouth. Devour Rainbow Dash. Instead of blood, rainbows poured out. Yes, rainbows. Suddenly, Twilight Sparkle fell from the sky and shouted to no one.
He's coming! Who's coming?
Bipolar. Her hooves were in the air and just stared at the giant banana, who had moved on to eating the city now. Twilight Sparkle, seeing that no one cared, walked away. Twilight Sparkle walked to the city while it was still being eaten. What? She spoke to all ponies and made a speech.
He's coming! He's coming!
That's what she said. Was basically all she said. Not caring they were being eaten by a giant banana. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a new pony appeared. Glowing, sparkling, he descended upon the sinners. It was Jesus' pony, and he said calmly,
And I shall melt all... No, let me do that again. And I shall all melt due to my awesomeness.
And they did, while hiccuping to death and choking, while being eaten by a giant hippo, while said hippo was being eaten by a giant banana. Spike entered a forest. Then he heard some of growls coming from the forest, or growls coming from the forest. He looked around and finded the death bodies of rarity being eaten by Flutter Ice Freak Fire Star Solar Freeze Beam Shark. Spike screamed and suddenly, that was all one word by the way, Spike screamed and suddenly a flashback happened. Psycho Pie stabbed Rarity 507 times. Not times, time. Spike knew this and decided his revenge. He exploded into Super Mega Destruction Kill Spike and kicked in the nuts, even thought Shizagil. Then he threw to the ground and screamed so loud it turned her mane yellow.
Not so fast, Super Mega Destructo Kill Spike!
Psycho Pie screamed in space as she cut Super Mega Destructo Kill Spike's
give her a male voice.
head with a chainsaw. Super Mega Destructo Kill Spike laughed as his head grew back twice and he punted both Psycho Pie into space. His heads laughed and became excited that they could now talk to each other. They got in a fight, tore each other apart, leading to both heads growing back twice, and in a form of mitosis split into 4 Super Mega Destructor Kill Spike, who went on to terrorise Celestia with holy crap lasers and fire bowls of doom. Suddenly Derpzilla arrived and challenged all 4 Super Mega Destructo Kill Spikes to a duel. It destroys at least half of Ponyville, okay, tense change. Including the library. Serves the damn books right with all their big words, not EIR. The fight went on for 27 years. On the 27th day of the 27th year, Flutter Ice Freak Fire Star Solar Freeze Beam Shark came back to Celestia as Flutter Ice Freak Fire Star Solar Freeze Plasma Beam Shark with Psycho Pie, whose tail was tied to a space stick. Flutter Ice Freak Fire Star Solar Plasma Freeze Beam Shark dove at the 4 Super Mega Destructo Kill Spike and Derpzilla waving around a Psycho Pie flail who was laughing evilly the entire time. This is becoming more of a mouthful. There was an explosion that destroyed the end of this letter. Psycho Pie ended up the only one who was hurt. Doesn't the letter. Flutter Ice Freck Fire Strursol Free Zep Lusm Bem Wus Weekend and Super Mega Destructo Kill Spike Turn into just spake. Spike yelled swurs. He knew, which somehow restored the letter A. So they purposely took out every single letter A out of that paragraph. Nice. Then Candlejack appeared, and every Flutter, Ice Freak, Fire Shark, back to a few less, tore the dreamscape open, making those dreams reality. Flutter, Ice, Dream, Freak, Fire, Star, Solar, Plasma, Freeze, Beam Shark, then ate Psycho Pie and Luna, making a Princess Flutter, Psy Choice, Dream, Freak, Fire, Star, Solar, Plasma, Freeze, Beam Shark of the fourth wall, whose name probably won't get any longer than this chapter, but will be repeated quite a few times in order to annoy the readers. Princess Flutter, Psy Choice, Dream, Freak, Fire, Star, Solar, Plasma, Freeze, Beam Shark of the fourth wall shot fizzball cans into Celestia's heart, making her explode into the fanfic itself. The fanfic itself then died. Why am I still reading it then? And the resulting sauce made the greatest tacos in all of Generation 21. Stephen, why the hell did I say 21?
Been looking at it for too long.
Yeah, 27, sorry. Stephen Magnate, with all of his awesomeness, tried to revive the fanfic itself and turn it into a classy, well-written and artistic story. You're a bit off. We can't have that, can we? The invisible Atahur's nose flicked him into space. Yes, comma, because this fiction hasn't had enough references yet. No, clearly not. Seeing a certain, what the fuck, spherical object while in space, Trixie said, "No! I must stop this madness!" and exploded. Her hat landed on Stephen. Who the fuck is Stephen? Which made him team up with Princess Flutter, Psy Choice, Dream, Freak, Fire, Star, Solar, Plasma, Freeze, Beam, Shark of the fourth wall to destroy Derpzilla, who was still fighting for the retardis. But they weren't fast enough. Cthulhu, Turtle, Derpzilla, and Sodaleg Spike merged into Soderpthuluboo. Happily, the author, it's author this time, not Ahatha, still annoying enough to keep adding words to that name. Fact. So he just added them to Princess Flutter, Psy Choice, Dream, Freak, Fire, Star, Solar, Plasma, Freeze, Beam, Shark of the fourth wall. Princess Flutter, Psy Choice, Dream, Freak, Fire, Star, Solar, Plasma, Freeze, Beam, Shark of the fourth wall, who will truly stop getting new names in this chapter, will in future chapters, to be released sometime next month, turned autocorrect on. Then Doctor Who's got his retardis back, and getting tired of the long name being repeated over and over again, sent Princess Flutter, Psy Choice, Dream, Freak, Fire, Star, Solar, Plasma, Free, Beam, Shark of the fourth wall into a time machine, setting her back to Flutter, Ice, Freak, Fire, Star, Solar, Plasma, Freeze, Beam, Beam Shark, and removing her from the rest of the chapter. Soderpthuluboo started smashing multiple fanfics into this one, letting Rainbow Sparkle take over the story.
Hi guys, it was a feat day in Ponyville web. I and Ed with Jam and got pregnant cause of a prosy. It's yon our abu it.
A prosy? The fanfic itself rose from the greys and cupcakes rainbow. Oh, that's a verb now. Rainbow Sparkle, while collecting every pony in a potato cleaner and making them dance to the death. Meanwhile, Psycho Pie and Luna were fighting to the death in a nearby solar system. Luna using cupcake darts, Psycho Pie throwing planets. Who would win? Psycho Pie eventually threw Equestria itself at Luna, turning every pony's hooves into bagpipes. Twilight screamed,
Luna, if you don't stop...
Will? Oh my god. Do it.
Luna, if you don't stop, we'll lubricate, and no one will be around to fanfic everyone in the multiverse if we get around to bringing every pony back to life after we cupcakes them. I am no longer Nightmare Moon.
The ancient pony dropped some of the darts she was throwing, which hit Rainbow Sparkle, reviving her as the laws of everything are completely inverted for her.
Oh, that flamey fangs itself clean me! Anyways, I's back! I husted Aryan wins for my net pony when Jack crammed, and we all cut it on furries. It's lax in a calf and I think Jack died. No, it just. I paid STD's foggy, but the prophet banjo bit in fly didn't. Then Clodbuff did us a shiny and Jack Mary on here. I ain't so happy I said, oh my god, lads! Married Jackie! WTF! This awful correct! It's messing with the Destroy Hop! This is anniversary! What what of?
Then, Shark, who will not be named anymore, this chapter broke the fanfic's rules to eat Rainbow Sparkle, stopping the outstanding grammar fails. I was going to say grammar knots even. Luna flexed one of her wings, which was made of pie pistols. Yes, pistols, and flat Ponyville in half.
And what of it? Is it a sin? Should a pony feel like firing upon a sun of or 1,000? Why should the suns heave through the void, if not to be skewers broken outnumber fragpoles?
Yes, the fragpoles get fragged. Older than Celestia herself, the large electronic Arica were the last remnants of the Guen race. The author, not Utterher, proceeded to turn off autocorrect. Oh, bollocks, you know what this means. Twilight cast a glance at the moon. Unsavoury pastors emanated from the particularly effeminate crater. It was hungry. She looked... Is it a she or an it? It looked hungry. She looked at a nearby comet. She thought about Big Mac. Twilight's arm moved in a revolting motion, finally pointing at Luna.
Luna is wearing designer lip rings, and as such your argument is invalid.
My hair is a bird. The crowd gasped as the fanfic itself, how many times can break the fourth wall, itself slammed the desk using Spike. It was super effective. The annoying male dragon as a Gavel who went through the desk until he arrived in hell. Nobody cared about him as the fanfic itself's mane was now made of fire. The fanfic itself was interrupted by Trixie, who punched her while her theme song played. The crowd cheered. The fanfic itself began to bleed musicals. Yay! Twilight and Trixie threw nitrogen at each other, mixed Flava Flav into it before it could enter the atmosphere, and punched the freak out of the atmosphere because they didn't like it. Sweetie Bells had exploded. Twilight and Trixie head flanked each other. My god, that sounds wrong. While going through the planet Nova Scotia because
Nova Scotia. It's a place in Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that was its weakness, and that weakness caused the time and the universe to explode 42 times the meaning of life.
Twilight! The Daleks kidnapped Luna!
What are you saying, Spike? I don't care about people who have vowels in their names.
Derpy Hooves then transcended universes to save Luna, the full story of which, again, would make a better fic than this crap.
Roar!
I am the law. Trixie screamed as she began to eat Twilight, but it was actually Twilight's shadow, because she had studied under the snowboard assassins, who were great celery masters. What the shit? Coherent, please. Derpy Hooves, anyway, sorry guys. Derpy Hooves came back to this universe with Luna, Shark, who will not be named anymore this chapter, and Muffin Crossbows as the Ferris wheel of deformed pony corpses rolled through Ponyville. Meanwhile, Octavia was playing their large brony. Rival Plane is a machinery theme remix by a Japanese pony on a cello. Vinyl Scratch then mixed Octavia's track with one of Lyra's performances. There was no point of that paragraph other than random wordplay. Finally! A Gary Stew then appeared in Ponyville. He tried to hit on Applejack, who then booked the Stew's teeth in. The Stew then exploded from not being perfect in every way. Elitism. Psycho Pie turned the remains into cupcakes, as justice tastes better than ponies. This brought every pony she killed back to life, starting a zombie apocalypse, and then Ponyville was a zombie.
Yes, chapter number 1. Every pony started to cry as the Gary Stew and Mary Sue zombie clone ponies started to take over Equestria. Rarity tried to kill one of them with her horn of awesome power, but was attacked by a swarm of head parasprite crabs, who began to devour her mane and eat her cutie mark. Pinkamena, Psycho Pie, came in bearing her secret weapon.
Cupcakes!
She screamed menacingly as she started to throw cupcake grenades at the ghost zombie ponies, but the cupcakes only turned the Mary Sues into more powerful super fangirls, who started to fall for every male pony in Ponyville. Meanwhile, Eternal Princess Flutter Ice Fire Mountain Tiger Moon Chibi Shark was dancing as poisoned rainbow-colored drops of juice and griffin eggs began to fall from the sky, and sparkly pony vampire turtles started to invade, putting every pony in a trance that lasted exactly 47 minutes. Twilight Sparkle stood there observing the chaos as the hordes of sparkle ponies flew towards Canterlot and began to rain glitter and fire upon the castle.
No!
Twilight roared.
Not all of Canterlot!
But it was too late. The castle had been turned into a hot topic
Oh,
and
boy.
became flooded with Good Charlotte and MCR psychotic goth fans. As Luna and Celestia emerged from the mass, Luna inexplicably turned into a star cupcake monster.
What isn't inexplicable? Anyway.
The cupcake nightmare star monster creature pony growled and started to fly towards Sweetie Belle, who was polishing a small bunch of flowers and moon rocks. Sweetie Belle cowered in fear as the creature started to throw giant blobs of banana cake batter and acid celery stalks at the small filly.
I'm scared of this thing!
Said Sweetie Belle.
Not in an afraid way. I know how to stop it.
She started to throw crystals at the monster, which caused it to fall into the ever-free forest and get eaten by bunnies. Then the ponies all melted away into plastic forms.
Dear me. Right. Guess chapter number 2. Once upon a time there... Okay, was only humans, not were only humans. There was only humans. But then the huge asshole Trollestia killed all the humans that existed before the dinosaurs. And the humans was all like...
Period! Or is that a what is that?
They were all like... Face!
Wait, no, is that a period or is that a, colon?
That's a colon.
Colon bracket!
Or parenthesis. And,
Or parenthesis!
and Trollestia was all like...
I cannot make troll face cause me am horse. Lol, but that okay cause I have magic and wings.
And then she flew off into the sunset and burned up. XXX later, that decade, ponies started populating the planet that was known as Earth. Seriously, what drugs were they on when they came up with this show? The first pony was all like... Ruffle. All ponies were retarded because Trollestia forgot to give them brain. And she was all like...
Oh, that funny.
Because Trollestia can't die from burning because she is a god. But then, a pony that somehow got a brain from a family of rocks that turned out not to be rocks, but just very small grey creatures that couldn't move or talk, jumped out from a cloud of copy paper. Jesus Christ.
No, it's not funny. I has brains and I challenge you to a duel of milk drinking.
The most random pony stated as she charged at the white and evil tyrant that was Trollestia.
Gasp! My only weakness! How did you know?
Bullets moaning with Trollestia, Ice, screamed as she drowned in milk.
You are white and can use magic, so your only natural weakness must be milk, cause milk is white and a fluid that makes your bones stronger.
The logic is too powerful to understand, so the world blew up. XXX thousand years later, in the year of 100x after Trollestia, ponies invented Pinkie Pie. It was their biggest mistake ever.
Holy effing shit, man! A Pinkie Pie is loose and annoying her brains out!
The random scientist guy said gently in his smooth, relaxing voice.
Oh, okay, let me,
Yeah.
Holy effing shit, Manny Pinkie Pie is loose and annoying her brains out.
The random scientist guy said gently in his smooth, relaxing voice. Then Pinkie Pie jumped round the corner and stared at him.
So Pink! Oh god, what the fuck? Shit away!
And his head exploded. This is the most action-filled shit you've ever read in your entire life. Yeah. Feel the adrenaline rush from your body as you flex your muscles and realise that this story made you a man. Insert calm classical music here. Now we just have to get to the part where everyone dies. Please sit down and relax as we describe a most wonderful and quiet scenery for you. The birds were swaying in the wind. The trees were singing. And Fluttershy was not Fluttershy at all anymore because she had gone through a sex change and was now named Flutter Steroids. Twilight was on her way to the market that was once a millennium when suddenly a rainbow coloured cupcake jumped in her way.
Twilight, you must help me. Pinky made a cupcake out of me.
Thought the small cupcake, because cupcakes don't have mouths to talk with.
No.
So Twilight as she ate the cupcake. As you read, you think to yourself that this story must have been written by a 6-year-old or just someone very immature or immature. Little do you know that one of those were right and it was not the first one. But then, again, death came flying down on Flutter Ice Freak Fire Star Solar Plasma Freeze Beam Shark. Why make such a long name anyway? And killed Twilight with an ice cream made of optic lasers.
Ho ho ho, I am Triumph.
Caps Lock makes this story awesome. But then, Flutter Ice Freak Firestar Solar Plasma Freeze Beam Shark shot all those things in its name out of its ear and killed Death. Oh no, does this mean that no one can die? And this story can never end? No, this is my story and I can kill anyone I want to. Even if they can't die, I shall prove my point by killing Flutter Ice Freak Firestar Solar Plasma Freeze Beam Shark. Flutter Ice Fire Freak Solar Plasma Freeze Beam Shark is unaffected by death. Holy smokes, I have no power over this story anymore. No! And then everyone died, including me, because I tried to kill something that could not be killed. Did I learn my lesson, you ask? Pfft. Hey, Derpzilla, come over here for a minute.
Guess chapter number 3, how Equestria was born and how it died. In the year 20394H32, on the planet Equestria, there was fascism.
In quotation marks.
There was fascism. Fascism ran rampant in the streets. Slaughtering fascism is a thing, like a physical object. Fascism ran rampant in the streets, slaughtering grasshopper and leaving bees in its wake. Fascism loved what it did, and never wanted to stop. On this ball of rock there was another entity. It was known as communism. Communism had the power of influence. He influenced the lemmings to jump off cliffs into the seas of grey grass. One day and night, communism and fascism met. Then they raped each other.
Of course.
It was horrible. They both died of aneurysms. From their corpse...
Sirs, I guess. Not...
From their corpse emerged the two creatures we know as Luna and Celestia.
What the
They decapitated each other with watermelons for 40 days and 40 nights, only to discover that they were immortal. After buying copyright to the sun and the moon, they decided to create ponies. They took the title of princess because it sounded really fucking amazing. And for 109 years they ruled without conflict. Then one day, Princess Luna awoke, and she knew who she was. Nightmare Moon N.M. Not just Luna, but Nightmare Moon. And she used her killing data to cause the Holocaust and eternal night. Celestia prayed to no god in particular. Then Beelzebub and Leviathan appeared before her. She bowed to the unholy princes and wiped their non-existent feet with her virgin tears.
Right.
Beelzebub gave Celestia cancer, left because he's fucking Beelzebub. Leviathan, however, sealed the 7 archangels of heaven into magical orbs that Celestia used to power the FSB. Flutter Ice Freak Fire Star Solar Plasma Freeze Beam Shark. The shock was so powerful that it sent Luna to the motherfucking moon. For 1,000 years, she was kept alive and tortured by the lack of oxygen.
She didn't die!
For 1,000 years, she was kept alive and tortured by the lack of oxygen and the extreme temperatures. Every waking hour, she was attacked by hunger and thirstiness.
They were
really good fighters.
Her hate for ponies grew so massive that it spread to the planet below her, showering the ponies in her hate like radiation.
Meanwhile, Celestia, after reviving everyone, recreated the government based off of Oceania from 1984, because she loved that book. After the 1,000 years, Nightmare Moon came back and was promptly beaten by 6 of the Archangel's reincarnations. They died 6 years. They died 6 years later because of Luna's hate.
Unknown to everyone, the Antichrist was among them. It took the form of a blonde Pegasus with crust eyes. She was a pretty cool mare. She smoked weeds and wasn't afraid of anything.
She revived the Archangels because she thought they were cool as well. I personally think they were totally lame. Except one of the Archangels, Rainbow Dash. She created Jimi Hendrix. She created Jimi Hendrix, and that makes her A-OK in my book. Anyway, Luna and Celestia both met in Canterlot. The battle raged for 7 years. The Archangels and the Antichrist retreated into the Southlands. As they stood from far off, they cried when they saw the smoke of her burning.
Was there ever a city like this?
They decided that existence needed to be purified, so they summoned the power of democracy to rain hellfire from the heavens. Then it went like this.
The buildings tumbled in on themselves, mothers clutching babies, picked through the rubble and pulled out their hair. The skyline was beautiful on fire, all twisted metal stretching upwards. Everything washed a thin orange haze. I said,
"Kiss me, you're beautiful. These are truly the last days."
You grabbed my metaphorical hand, and we fell into it like a daydream or a fever. We woke up one morning and fell a little further down. For sure it's the Valley of Death. I opened up my wallet, and it's full of capitalism.
Jesus Christ.
I know what that's from. What that's quoting. But, yeah.
Oh, that was...
Well...
What happened? What happened?
Apparently, capitalism won. The end of story.
That's what you call verbosity. What the hell? Every single time it mentioned Antichrist, I could only think of Lars von Trier. that was just me. That was just me.
Oof.
Oh my god. Right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed.
I hope every pony enjoyed this.
Yeah, I hope every pony enjoyed. You're fat and you need to get some exercise. I hope you're getting a good amount of exercise anyway. Is there any last words you'd like to? Right, I guess.